It's been a while since I took a video trying to this isn't gonna work, trying to show my attempt at getting a book haul thumbnail picture. I'm trying to adjust my stack here. Let's see if we can do this without dropping any books. Quickly take a guess. Am I going to drop some? First of all, that's how tall it is without me even holding it. So I'm probably gonna drop some. Ooh, so dangerous. Guys, that many books. I didn't drop any. That is a new record. Welcome to my book haul. Hey guys, so I'm changing things up a bit. In my last video, I said this was going to be anticipated releases, but I didn't get my list together in time, honestly. Even though we're already into October and I'm going to be sharing anticipated releases for October, November, and December in the anticipated releases video, I don't have it ready. So that will be my next one. Promise this time. Hopefully. Hopefully I promise. But I have a few books here to share in a book haul today. I've got a couple that I purchased new pre-orders. One of them will actually be on my anticipated releases list because it came out like a couple days ago. So it was an October release. So I've got that. I've got a couple from Book Outlet. I got a huge stack from the thrift store. And then a few from the Little Free Library. So yeah, let's just go in that order. That's how my piles are laid out. So that's what we're going to do. So this year is really the first year that I've done pre-ordering. Like I've done it like once or twice previously, but I think I've pre-ordered 4 or 5 books this year, which is obviously more than once or twice in my entire life, so it's a big deal. There's some authors that I'm really excited about when they publish books. So the first one here that I have is The Lost Melody. This is Joanna Davidson Politano's newest book. This just came out October 4th, and she has a really good book trailer for it. She shared it on her Instagram. I saw it there. It's like the perfect amount of like haunting, and yeah, I feel like it might be a little bit spooky, but historical fiction. Her previous ones have all been in the Victorian era. I'm not sure. This one looks like maybe 1886. Yeah, I'm very curious. This has to do with an asylum. I know that much, and yeah, I'm totally here for the vibes. This is an option for my Patreon spoilery vlog for the month of October. They are currently voting on the books, the options. I don't know which one's going to be the winner. Whichever book they choose, I'm going to do a vlog on it. And this time I'm going to actually say like when I'm giving spoilers so that people that don't want the spoilers can skip over them. Still get like the general feel of my thoughts for the book without knowing the details. Yeah. If this one doesn't win, I still will probably try to read it this month. And then one that I've shared in a few videos already and is on my TBR for October is The Bullet That Missed. So this is the Thursday Murder Club, but book number 3. It's a retirement village with a bunch of old people, obviously, and they get together on Thursday nights to solve mysteries that have like been unsolved previously, but they always get suckered into them. I don't know how long the series can go because if your characters are so old, I mean, they're all gonna die off eventually, right? But I've really enjoyed the series. I've raved about it ever since I read the first book. Now, the first 2 I listened to on audio, and I kind of wanted to continue that experience even though I love having the physical copies. But I saw that the narrator has changed for this 3rd book, so I might try physically reading this one instead of listening to it. Because I loved the voice of the narrator before. She did Joyce so well, and I think there's 2 narrators now. So is this one not narrated by Joyce? I wonder. I don't know. I don't want to know it. I don't want to read enough to know. But I love Joyce, so I hope it's the same. Okay, so those were my pre-orders. Bought those full price. So excited for them. Have another pre-order coming next week, actually. Now on to Book Outlet. Now the reason I placed a Book Outlet order was for 1 book, and then I had to get enough books to get free shipping because that's how I roll. You guys, they finally had the For the Love of Paper florals. So I got another one of these. It's just called For the Love of Paper, so the original, a few months ago, and you guys were kind of drooling all over it. So many people were looking for it on Book Outlet, and I am obsessed with florals, so I'm so excited about this one. Mostly what I've been using, the one I originally got for, is for pen pal letters. So they have a bunch of like papers that are lined or blank with designs on the other side, and then a bunch of envelope templates. So here's like the outside of the envelope and then cut along the template there. I've been loving these for pen pal letters. If you're one of my pen pals, you've probably received one of these in the last while. But they also have like, there's stickers for on your envelope. What are these? These ones I think are postcards. So this is on thicker paper, more postcards. There's just a variety of different things. I think this is just random paper. There's like, this is really thick, so this is like a poster. Oh, this is create a gallery wall. So I got 8 posters, and then you can hang them up. Variety of different pages. So those are all the posters. And then just random papers as well. I don't quite get the point of these. They're like different shapes. What can I use these for? I mean, I could cut it out and use it as decoration for something, but I feel like there should be something a little more obvious. This one has some bookmarks, so it's already got the holes punched. Some like coloring pages maybe. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. This one is my herbarium. I think maybe where you document like different herbs. Then there's pages of making paper flowers. There's like, they're die cut. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. I don't know, you're supposed to make paper flowers. This is another kind of paper that was in the original one. A bunch of alphabet pages, and I'm not sure what one can do with that. This is like duplicate letters, so maybe you can cut them out and make some words. I don't know. Some of these, oh, that I like. I really love florals. I love it on anything. I'm always drawn to like floral shirts when I'm shopping. Definitely an old lady inside for sure. Anyway, so I should maybe not show you every single page. There's like tags. They have wrapping paper that comes out and like unfolds into a big sheet. I don't know what oh, I think this is a sticker page. Each of these strips are a sticker, it looks like. That's new. There's different tags to punch out. Oh, the herbarium fell out. So what is this? Oh, okay. So you have like summer and then space to document like a flower that you find maybe. Oh, you like do pressed flowers. It says date, location, scientific name, common names, habitat, and notes. Interesting. Yeah, so then there's some cards, it looks like, and then more envelopes, and yeah, and then, oh, like a giant poster? Well, I'm definitely gonna find a place for this. That is really cool. I'll just leave it over there for now. Yeah, so if you can find this on Book Outlet, it ended up costing me, I think, about half the price that it is on Amazon. So if you like any kind of paper crafting or pen paling or anything, I would recommend this. So I have the original, really enjoyed most of the pages, and then this one looks amazing. They also have a botanicals one, which looks cool, but it looks more like it's heavy into the greens. And when it comes to paper crafting, I definitely am drawn more to the pinks and the florals. Okay, so I made a Book Outlet order because of that. A couple of the books that I ordered are just for my kids. So I recently did, just earlier this week, I did a book haul on my homeschool channel. Intentional Homeschooling is my homeschool website and channel. I decided if it was just a book for the kids, I didn't need to share about that here. So you can check it out on there. And then I got a couple of other books. A couple that are middle grade that I shared on there, but also I am going to read or have read that I'll talk about here. I also got this Poems About Trees. So this is from the Everyman's Library Pocket Poets collection, and I'm kind of obsessed with these. They have a bookmark, just a cute little poetry collection. And if you guys have been here, you know I love me some poetry. So just curious to see what it looks like without the dust jacket. Oh, that's pretty too. I mean, I'm gonna keep the dust jacket, but I do like that. So that's a cute little book. Okay, and then the middle grade ones that I shared on my homeschool channel. Aggie Morton, I got book 2 now. I'm waiting until they come out in paperback apparently, because that's how I started collecting them. This is middle grade mystery. If Agatha Christie was like 10 years old or whatever, she's Aggie Morton. And she had her friend Hector, who is based off of Hercule and was solving mysteries. That's where these books come from. I always say that I love the lineup of suspects and characters. The illustrations are just so cute. So, and then I have a few like illustrations throughout, or at the top of the chapter headings. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying the series. I've read the first 3 books. Book 4 I think is coming out right away. Another like anticipated releases sneak peek, I guess. Then a while ago I read Closer to Nowhere. This is a middle grade free verse novel about a boy, Calvin, who his mother has died. His father has gone to prison, so he goes to live with his mother's twin sister, so his aunt. And we alternate between Calvin and his cousin Hannah as they're both adjusting to living together. Loved this book. It was really good. So I was gonna order this, and then I saw she also has a newer one, What About Will? And I think this one is about brothers. The older one has just come back from a war. I want to say Vietnam. And so the younger one's trying to figure out who his brother is now after the war. If it's anywhere near as good as this, it will be great. Now, moving along to my stack. This is definitely the biggest stack of thrifted books. Most of these, I don't know, the range of the price that I paid for these is anywhere from $1 to I did pay $6 for, I think, 2 of them. Yeah. But the two that I paid lots of money for are big, so it was worth it. The first one is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. So I don't actually really know anything about this. I think it might be science fiction. I don't really know. I just know that a few people that I follow have read it or been reading it or purchased it recently, and I've just been in a mood for a big heavy book. This one usually has a black cover. Every time I've seen anyone have it, and this one's red, so I'm not sure why that is, but I'm just feeling like maybe winter is a time to read big books, so I thought I would give it a try. And then I found, I feel like this was at the thrift store, maybe a Little Free Library actually, I'm not sure. I got Pirate Latitudes by Michael Crichton, so I just want to try a few of his books. I've actually collected a few on my shelf and haven't read any of them yet, so I should probably start reading them instead of just buying all of his books or collecting them. I think I found some in Little Free Libraries. Yeah. This is an Everyman's Library book, but not the pocket book. I found Catch-22. I actually don't know what this is about, but it's just kind of one of those classics I want to read. I don't remember if this is specifically on my classics list. I think it was like about a year ago. I made a list of 35 classics I wanted to read. Made a video about it, but wanted to make it like 50 classics. So then I went and I reworked the list. I keep meaning to do a blog post with it, all 50. But I have been doing really well with reading books off of that list, and I can't remember if this one's on there. Either way, it's one I want to read. I don't know anything about it. I'll go into that one blind. Okay, this was another one that I paid $6 for. So I paid that much for this one, which I probably could have found somewhere else for cheaper, but I didn't. But I found this Agatha Christie collection. It's 5 complete novels. So 10 Little Indians, which is now called And Then There Were None. Peril at End House. The Murder at Hazel Moor. I've never even heard of that one. Easy to Kill, and Evil Under the Sun. So I do own 3 out of the 5, but not 2 of them. So it was like they were $3 each. And I have I wouldn't say extensive, but I have an Agatha Christie collection happening. And this one is just going to fit in there so well. This was originally published at $64.75, actually. So I feel like that's pretty pricey for, when was this published? 1986. So I feel like I got a good deal then. Okay, and then another one I found at the thrift store is Ender's Game. I just had this one from the library, read the first chapter, was really intrigued, and they had a lot more of the series, but I didn't know if I would want to continue the series. So, oh wait, I paid $4 for this one? That's a bit annoying. I thought it was cheaper than that. So I'll read the first one and then see if it's worth continuing the series. Then I found Anne of the Island. Once again, I am also slowly growing an extensive L.M. Montgomery collection, so I didn't own a copy of this book in this edition, so I grabbed it. A classic that is definitely on my list of 50 classics I want to read is The Outsiders. Guys, this edition is so old school. I read about a chapter of this randomly when I was getting my teaching degree. I was working with a high school kid randomly for one class, and we read a chapter together. So I know like what happens in one of the middle chapters. So I should read the entire book. It's super short, although the font is pretty small. But this one will be a quick one to check off my list. Then I found another Frank Peretti book, Prophet. I definitely read this one in high school. I don't remember anything about it. Whereas like The Oath, Piercing the Darkness, This Present Darkness, I feel like there's scenes that I remember like 10, 15 years later. The Prophet, I don't remember anything. So definitely one I will be rereading eventually. Then I got this book that I'd never heard of before, Daddy Longlegs, but it's in this Puffin Classics edition book, which I own quite a few books in this edition, most of which I've read. So I thought I would grab it and read it, but definitely never heard anything about it. I'll read the back, I guess. We'll learn it together. A trustee of the John Grier Orphanage has offered to send Judy Abbott to college. The only requirements are that she must write to him every month and that she can never know who he is. Judy's life at college is a whirlwind of friends, classes, parties, and growing friendship with handsome Jervis Pendleton. With so much happening in her life, Judy can scarcely stop writing letters to her mysterious benefactor she calls Daddy Longlegs, or wondering who on earth he could possibly be. I've never heard of this book before. When was this originally published? 1912? Wow, okay. Well, that one should be a fairly easy read. It looks pretty thin. Then I saw this one. I decided to grab it, A Perfect Murders. I almost read this book a while ago. Then I was told it spoils 10 mystery novels. 8 mystery. Yeah, the number's right there. 8 mystery books. I know one of them was one of Agatha Christie's, and then there was a few others. And then my plan was to read those mystery books and then read this, and I never really was motivated to do it. So I feel like now that I have this book, I'll make sure I've read all 8 of those books and then give this one a try. This one I was really excited to see at the thrift store because I've never seen, I don't usually see this kind of book there. This is The Magic of Motherhood. The good stuff, the hard stuff, and everything in between. So this is by Coffee and Crumbs. I've listened to the podcast before. I don't even know if they're still a podcast. It's just, I feel like it would be inspiring. I think I've gotten it from the library. I don't know how much of it I've read. It's got some pictures throughout every now and then. So I don't know, but I bought it. Then another classics that I bought, a fairly big one, is East of Eden. I don't think this one is on my classics list, but I do want to read a lot of classics down the road. Eventually, I want to have read a lot of classics. So I thought I would grab this one. And then we will move on to my Little Free Library books. There's just a few here. 3 of them are Anne books. So I got Anne of Windy Poplars, Anne's House of Dreams, and Anne of Ingleside. Yeah, so interestingly enough, where did my other Anne book go? They're like the same illustrator as this one, but they're a little different because, let's see, like here, it doesn't have the color on the bottom. The image goes all the way, right? So I think they're slightly different. Well, even, so this one's a collector's edition, a special collector's edition. But I just want to own a lot of L.A. Montgomery books, especially if you can get them for free. That's even better. Then I found this book. This one was on a library book club reading list a few years ago, but for some reason we never got to it. It's The Little Paris Bookshop. Not sure if it's any good, but it's got bookshop in the title, so if you guys have read this one, let me know. I'm assuming this is like historical fiction. It doesn't say a year or anything on here. No, it doesn't say a year on the first chapter, but very curious because of the bookshop word. Then I found this one in a little free library, and I know I've heard of it before. I don't remember where, but it's How to Read a Book, the classic guide to intelligent reading. I'm pretty sure this is, the original version was written quite a while ago, the original edition, 1940. Yeah, I've definitely heard of this. So I would like to know how to read a book because I've got lots of books, so I should probably learn how to read them. Okay, now this one's a little funny. It might be terrible, but that little free library had a book to put in there. It's like, well, I gotta pull a book out, and this one was the most interesting one. I didn't have to pull a book out, I just did. You guys, this is Richard Castle's Driving Heat. Is it gonna be terrible? Maybe. But is it a flashback to the Castle show? Absolutely. I haven't watched the show in forever. I'm just curious. If I don't like it, if it's terrible, no loss because it was free. So there you go. There's a peek at my last while of book purchasing and acquiring. Let me know something that you have, a really good book that you have bought or found recently, and I will be back next week to share my anticipated releases for October, November, and December. Thanks for being here, guys.